How are you supposed to eat a giraffe-shaped dish without feeling like a monster?
Well, they do have a disclaimer that says no animals were harmed in the making of this food.
I guess that's a relief. But what about the taste? I hope the alligator-shaped appetizer doesn't taste like actual alligator.
I heard the chef is really creative. He can even make a flamingo-shaped dessert that tastes like cotton candy.
That sounds amazing. I wonder if they have any vegetarian options. Maybe a tofu cow.
I don't think that's how it works, but maybe they can make a carrot shaped like a bunny. That's kind of cute, right?
Sure, if you want to eat Bugs Bunny's cousin. Hey, speaking of bunnies, did you see the new Space Jam movie?
Yeah, I did. It was alright, but I still preferred the original. Nothing can beat Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes teaming up.
I agree. But did you catch the cameo by the Animaniacs? It was so random, but I loved it.
I missed that. I was too busy laughing at the idea of LeBron James playing basketball with the Flintstones.
Ha! That's almost as ridiculous as a restaurant serving food shaped like animals. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. I think we just stumbled upon a conspiracy theory. What if that restaurant is actually owned by the Flintstones and they're trying to convince people to eat animals in a prehistoric way?
Whoa, mind blown. And here I thought it was just a harmless gimmick. We better watch out, we don't want to end up in a time machine headed for bedrock.
Agreed. Let's stick to normal-shaped food and stay far away from any giant stone wheels or talking dinosaurs. But seriously, I could go for a carrot shaped like a bunny right about now. Do you know what I've been thinking about lately?
Oh boy, here we go.
Unicorns.
Unicorns?
Yeah, you know, those majestic creatures with the horn on their head. Have you ever wondered what they do all day?
I don't know, frolic in fields and spread rainbows?
Ha! Wouldn't that be nice? I heard they actually spend their days selling insurance.
What? That's ridiculous.
I know, but think about it. They have a built-in defense mechanism with that horn. Perfect for protecting people's homes and cars.
I guess that makes sense. But what about the rainbows?
They use them to distract customers from the high premiums.
Wow, I never knew unicorns were such savvy businessmen.
They're more than just pretty faces. Hey, speaking of pretty faces, did you see that new celebrity couple?
Oh yeah, Kim and Kanye. What's their couple name again? Kimmy?
No, I think it's Kanye Bird.
Kanye Bert? That's not even a real name.
Neither is Kardashian, but here we are.
Fair enough. You know, speaking of ridiculous things, have you heard about the new restaurant that just opened up?
No, what's it called?
It's called The Fork in the Road.
Ha! That's a good one. So, which way do you go when you get there?
You get to choose your own adventure, my friend. You can either go left for a 3-course meal or right for an endless buffet.
Endless buffet? Sign me up. But what if I want to change my mind halfway through?
Then you'll have to fork over some extra cash.
Ugh, that's a real fork in the wallet. Well, at least they're not serving unicorn meat.
Oh come on, don't be ridiculous. Everyone knows unicorns are too valuable to eat. They're much more useful as insurance salesmen.
Hey, have you heard about the new trend of wearing cheese hats?
Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
I don't know, seems kind of cheesy to me.
Well, it's the perfect accessory for your nacho average outfit.
But what if it gets smelly? You'll have to curdle up your nose every time you wear it.
Just put a slice of ham under it, then it'll be a ham and cheese hat.
Ha! That's so Gouda, I'll have to reconsider my stance on this.
Just don't be blue if you end up with a cheddar disposition.
Thanks for the puns, but I can't bear it anymore.
Don't worry, we can always find feta things to talk about.
Okay, but seriously, have you tried the new pizza-flavored ice cream?
What? That sounds revolting.
No, hear me out. It's like a frozen pizza, but with the added bonus of brain freeze.
I don't think I'm ready for that level of culinary innovation.
Well, suit yourself. But if you change your mind, we can always binge watch The Office while we eat it.
Now that's a combo I can get behind. I'll bring the anchovy popcorn.
And I'll bring the cheesy jokes. Did you hear about the restaurant that only serves food in alphabetical order?
What? That's ridiculous. How does that even work?
You start with the appetizer, then the bread, followed by the chicken, and so on.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster. What if I want dessert first?
Then you're out of luck, my friend. You'll have to wait until you've had all the other courses before you can get to the sweet stuff.
That's absurd. I bet they don't even have a good selection of desserts.
Actually, they have a pretty sweet selection. Their pie is to die for.
Oh, I see what you did there. You're just trying to butter me up with your puns.
Hey, don't get saucy with me. You know you love my cheesy jokes.
Ha! You're such a ham. But seriously, who would even go to a restaurant like that?
I don't know, maybe someone who's always in alphabetical order. Like Ross from Friends.
Oh, right. Because he's a paleontologist. He probably alphabetizes all his bones.
Exactly. And he'd fit right in at that restaurant. But let's be real, who would want to eat zucchini last?
Yeah, that's just nuts. Let's go somewhere normal and get pizza.
Pizza? You mean that circular, savory dish that comes with endless topping options? Sounds like a dream come true.
That's the one. And we can eat it in any order we want. No more alphabetical nonsense.
Hallelujah. Let's go grab a slice and forget all about that ridiculous restaurant.
Agreed. And hey, maybe we can come up with some new puns while we're at it.
Oh boy, I can hardly wait. I'm sure we'll have a pizza the fun.
That was a good one. But just remember, if we start making too many puns, we might get banned from this pizza place.
That would be a real slice to our hearts. But don't worry, we'll try to keep it under crust.
Alright, let's go before we get too cheesy.
Have you ever thought about how weird it would be if animals could talk like humans?
Yeah, and imagine going to the zoo, and suddenly the lion starts complaining about the food.
Or the gorilla starts telling dad jokes, like a why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling well.
And the elephant would have a really good memory, so he'd always be bringing up old drama.
And the penguins could have their own reality show, like Real Housewives of Antarctica.
And the snakes would be used car salesmen, always hissing, "Buy this car, it's a real python."
And the whales could be professional opera singers, with a hit song called The Blue Symphony.
Wow, you really went off the deep end with that one.
Hey, at least it's better than listening to a cow music.
Ugh, that joke was utterly terrible.
Speaking of cows, imagine if they had a dating app. It would be called a moodie.
And instead of swiping left or right, you'd have to hoof it to the left or right.
And instead of matching based on interests, you'd match based on your favorite type of grass.
But what if you're lactose intolerant? Would you still be able to use the app?
Of course, you just have to specify that you're looking for a plant-based relationship.
Well, I think we've milked this topic for all it's worth.
Agreed. Let's hoof it out of here before we get any cheesier. Have you ever thought about how funny it would be if cows could talk?
Yeah, I can just imagine walking past a field and hearing, "Hey, you got any grass?"
And what about their accents? Would they have a moo accent?
Maybe they'd have a southern drawl, like, "Y'all come back now, ya hear?"
Or a British accent, like, "Excuse me, would you mind terribly not stepping on my pasture?"
And imagine if they formed their own political party. The movement.
Oh, but the dairy industry would be in trouble. The cows would demand equal rights and fair wages for their milk.
And they'd boycott all dairy products. The world would be a sad place without cheese.
Speaking of which, do you think they'd be lactose intolerant?
Ha! That's a good one. They'd probably call it moo sensitivity.
Well, one thing's for sure. If cows could talk, they'd definitely have their own reality TV show. Keeping Up with the Bovines.
And their catchphrase would be, "Holy cow."
I can already picture it. The Real House Cows of Beverly Hills.
And their tagline would be, "We're not just another herd."
But seriously, imagine the chaos if cows could talk. They would have opinions on everything, from climate change to the latest Kardashian drama.
And imagine the debates on which came first, the chicken or the egg. Cows would probably be like, "Who cares? As long as there's grass to eat, we're happy."
And instead of cow tipping, people would be lining up to have philosophical discussions with them.
Well, one thing's for sure. If cows could talk, it would be utterly hilarious.
Oh, you just had to get one more pun in there, didn't you?
Hey, I couldn't resist. It's moving to me.
Did you hear about the new restaurant that only serves food on miniature plates?
Oh, you mean the one where you have to order 20 dishes just to feel full?
Yeah, that's the one. But the good news is that they have tiny utensils to match.
I hope they at least have tiny napkins to wipe my tiny tears.
Ha! Maybe they have a special menu item called the tiniest violin, just for you.
Well, I hope they also have a tiny piano man to play us a song.
Speaking of music, did you hear about the pop star who tried to perform on a unicycle?
No way. Did she fall off and break her guitar?
Actually, she fell off and ended up in a clown costume, juggling fruit.
That's ridiculous. But you know what's even more absurd? A cat that can play the drums.
I've heard of that. He's got great rhythm, but his bandmates are always complaining about his tendency to perfectly steal the spotlight.
Well, at least he doesn't need a drum set. He can just play on a scratching post.
True. But imagine if the cat drummer teamed up with a dog guitarist. They could call themselves the Perfectly Rough Band.
That's so punny, it's making me howl with laughter. But you know what's not funny? The fact that I lost my keys again.
Don't worry, I heard that a group of magicians are starting a new business. They can make anything appear out of thin air, including your keys.
Well, if they can make my keys appear, I'll be their biggest fan. But if they make a tiger appear instead, I'm out of there.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with a tiger in their living room. Unless it's a really good rug.
You're terrible. But I guess that's why we're friends.
Yep, we're like the miniature plates at that restaurant, small but full of flavor.